In his explanation of the Ten Commandments, Martin Luther says this about the eighth commandment. We are to fear and love God, so that we do not tell lies about our neighbors, betray or slander them, or destroy their reputations. Instead, we are to come to their defense, speak well of them, and interpret everything they do in the best possible light. This is one of my top 2 favorite explanations in the Small Catechism, partly because I find it so useful. As is true in his explanations of the commandments, Luther tells us not only what the commandment prevents us from doing, but also what it encourages us to do. In this particular case, Luther instructs the eighth commandment invites us not only to refrain from harming our neighbor, but to actively work toward their good and consistently offer the benefit of the doubt. This is a particularly helpful understanding in highly polarized and politicized climates, when so much of our media, social and otherwise, is geared toward creating division, and the most common political rhetoric focuses not on what a particular person or idea has to offer, but instead on slander, criticizing, and dehumanizing another. This teaching on the eighth commandment is a helpful litmus test. Are the words we're listening to and reading in line with our understanding of the eighth commandment? Are the posts we're liking or the statements we're making or repeating working toward the good of our neighbor? Do we respond to the arguments and actions of others with a grace rooted in interpreting everything they do in the best possible light? These and similar questions are helpful to keep in mind as the political climate continues and divisiveness seems to amplify as elections draw near. We can choose to participate in civil discourse according to the rules our society currently offers. But I would argue, to borrow a phrase from the Apostle Paul, there is a more excellent way, one that takes cues from the commandments, the eighth commandment in particular, and that keeps our conversation and considerations rooted in a deep, compassionate care of our neighbors and a willingness to interpret the actions, ideas, and beliefs of others, even those we disagree with, in the best possible light. Perhaps seeking to understand why someone behaves or acts or votes in a particular way, trusting that they too have deeply held beliefs that inform them, aids us in the journey of keeping this commandment. Living in community, it is quite clear, has never been easy, and yet it is a gift. May the Spirit give us each more than enough grace as we seek to love and care for the neighbors we have. Amen.